So today we're going to be looking at the new Trailblazers. We've got the full Team 1. I don't know if there is going to be Team 2, but if there is, it will be interesting nonetheless because we're pretty much just getting a constant batch of players. We've got a Raphinha, a Cole Palmer, Haaland, we've got Joby Bellingham, as well as the likes of Bonmati. So we are pretty much just getting a cycle of players. And this one definitely falls into the category that I thought they would go with. Because obviously when we look at a lot of these players, we've got just some standard upgrades. But the main thing is they got a Role++ upgrade. So for instance, if we take a look at Haaland, if you need coins in FC25, lootbar.gg has you covered. They are the cheapest trading platform on the game, 8 to 10% cheaper than any others, 8% off if you use the code JT11 at the end at checkout, plus you get 5% extra on coins, with the fastest delivery system going, used by many FC25 creators such as Zorki, Manny Plus, and even pro owners. So if you need any coins, head over to lootbar.gg, make sure JT11's in the promo code, and hopefully you enjoy. We now can see that he does have the Poacher++. Obviously, he might not be the greatest example because I can imagine he already has that. So as you can see, he's got the ++, but he's added different roles in. So he's got advanced forward and targeted forward. So if we was to look at somebody on the mid-range, so say if we go, Kvaratskhelia could be an interesting one. So obviously he's got himself 3 different cards now as well, which is just crazy. He's got a Trickster Plus, just in case you really wanted that one. Obviously he's got a ++ here, so he's got inside forward ++ and inside forward. With this version now, he's got ++, he's got inside forward plus, shadow striker plus, and wide playmaker plus. So if you didn't know what these are, so if we have a look on the definition, the role is the player can perform this role, the plus is the player has mastered this role, and then the player is world class in this role if you've got a plus or a ++. So this is kind of their way to almost have your positions another step of kind of verification. So it's not only now a play style or a double or a triple play style, now it's going to be a play style and a Role++, a double play style plus and a Role++. It's going to get nuts by the end of the game. You're going to end up having triple, quadruple play style pluses with X amount of Role++ as well. So it's interesting to see where they're going with that, whether they just give everybody, but by the end of the game, just every position in the ++, or at least most of the top end. So it is interesting nonetheless. Not only that, they did give us an evolution for Trailblazers as well. Now this, I kind of like this idea. I don't know if I would say to do it for every single promo because it is an interesting one to see how it's affected the market. So basically you will get just a Trailblazer boost. You get a double pace and everything else gets a +1. You get an overall +1. So anybody at 85 or below can go into this and can go one more up. So a Joe Bellingham from his 85 objective can go up to an 86. Duran from an 84 to an 85. A double pace upgrade and then one on everything else. So it is an interesting concept. Now, the big thing is, like, for instance, I think Duran is probably the better option because of his playstyle plus, especially being power shot. What it has an effect on the market for him is that I don't think we see him drop down completely to 0 straight away. Whereas when we look at, like, a total rush card, if it was to take, to be fair, he's not like a terrible card, but realistically, he would have been in the 20k market by now already. Like when you're looking at a lot of these players like Marquinhos at 181k, you've then got a few that more than likely started quite high up there and have dropped down massively. You've got Marta. I want to say she was more than likely starting at 115,000 and dropped over the course of the week. I feel like a lot of these Trailblazers would have done the exact same. You can see pretty much most of them as well. 35,000, 33. It might be their way to combat these not worth anything. So what this is kind of like a plan to do is maybe you find that these cards go into an evolution. So instead of then people opening up untradeable packs to get them as well, you're opening up tradable packs to try and get one. Because realistically, now you've gone from having a guaranteed, like, pretty much all of these, obviously Pulisic is an anomaly here. pretty much all of these more than likely would have been 10, 20k. Maybe Robinson at 250. It'd be a bit of a stretch to say that the evolution has made him into 250. But regardless, these four at the minimum would be 10k straight off the gate. So we have got a few different things to go with there. Now, obviously, Haaland is going to come in as the number 1 S+. He's kind of the chase card in this. He is currently coming in at 2.6 mil. We have Kvaratskhelia at 1.2, 2.3 for Bonmati, and she is outstanding. We'll have a look at her in a second. And then you've got Palmer and Llorente, obviously, as well, coming in quite high up there. So there is a decent amount of cards that you can actually get. Plus, then you have got the SBC of Raphinha. Now, very, very nice card. Obviously, he's coming in at 560. I'm not too sure of the value. I think you can grind him out, and now we've got the League SBC, it becomes a lot easier. I think he's going to be one of them ones that stays in the team for a little bit. The Tiki Taka Plus isn't necessarily the greatest playstyle plus for him, especially being on the wing when we've already got an Adama with the Rapid Plus. Now, I'm not saying that Adama is light years better, but you didn't have to pay for him at all. So it's going to be coming into a point where we are looking at players and hand-picking. We have icon upgrades, hero upgrades already. Then more than likely we'll get icon SBCs within the next few weeks. We're having a load of player of the months. We've got a Barcola that can go right wing as well. So there is so many different factors into this. I think he's a very, very good card. I don't think I'd quite go as an S+, but I'd definitely be looking at a minimum, I'd say S, I'd say probably. And then going into the likes of Kvaratskhelia, very good card in himself. Obviously, it's the triple upgrade now for him. He's had himself his gold card, his 86, his 87, now up to an 89. Does have multiple positions he can go into, which is nice. And he is obviously a 5-5, which is already perfect for him, especially with a lot of SBCs coming from the Serie A. Obviously, the two Duran brothers. We've had Godfrey, we've had Varane, and I want to say there was one more that I can't remember. Who was it? Oh, of course, it was him. It was his player of the month. Is that still available, actually? Yeah, you can still get it. So if you've already got the player of the month, whether you'd want to upgrade, it's an upgrade. It's not necessarily too much crazy. Obviously, the Rolls plus is going to be the main thing here. I'm not a big fan of the Trickster. It still works and it's better than nothing, I suppose, but it's not necessarily my favoured playstyle plus to go with. So I think for him, again, he's going to go and fall just short of that S plus, in my opinion. And another one with a few upgrades now is our boy Cole Palmer. Now, obviously, he's got himself his inform and a player of the month, exactly the same as Kvaratskhelia. He's managed to get a skill move upgrade, which is always nice. You absolutely take a 4-4 at this point. He is obviously 4-4 with the roles as shadow striker, half winger as plus, wide playmaker, and inside forward player plus. I have seen him in a lot of teams recently as well, so he's going to be an interesting one to see where his price does end up, because player of the month was very, very cheap. So maybe even half the price of this. In terms of the upgrade, it's pretty standard, nothing too crazy. It is just a +1 anyway. Again, another card that I'd say is at this moment in time in the topper end. He's not necessarily in the absolute top, but I wouldn't say he's an A+. I'd probably put him up one for at least a couple of weeks. Now, one that is an absolute chase, other than Haaland, obviously, is going to be Bonmati. She is outstanding in her 91. She's obviously coming in relatively cheap as well, which is nice. And the upgrade isn't absolutely crazy. She's got herself the Finesse Shot Plus, which is always perfect. Can put her in that cam role. But she does have the Playmaker Plus now, as well as in the box-to-box Playmaker and Shadow. She did already have that Playstyle plus role plus in the Playmaker, but in terms of the upgrade, you're going to get the change from a technical to a finesse shot, which is where she really kind of accelerates there. And I think the finesse shot does put her absolutely up there as just another card that could go forward and whack in a shot from about 30-40 yards. Duran then. Now, he definitely is kind of my favourite if you go through the evolutions, because realistically that's where we're going to talk about these now. Obviously, Jude Bellingham's going to come in as my number 2, because then you don't have to pay for him. He is an objective that just gets straight into another upgrade card, and especially being the brother of Bellingham, it's always going to have a nice kind of SBC squad, not an SBC, a squad builder sort of feel. The Bellingham brothers, if you are making a team of brothers, an English team or anything like that, it's always nice to have somebody like that in there. The one thing that I don't like is this more than likely takes away from the dynasties, because I can imagine we're not going to get a Bellingham pairing now. More than likely we get the Thuram brothers and dad, but the fact that Bellingham or Jude has got himself into the road to the knockout, then obviously Job's now in the Trailblazer. If Dynasties is next, which has been leaked that it is available to come, so I don't see them bringing anything else out before that. I don't see them going back-to-back promos with the Bellinghams. They could do. They could add a Playstyle Plus. Well, to be fair, both of them have got Relentless, so it makes sense. But it's one of them. I think it's kind of just okay at best. He's a nice-ish card. Like, obviously, he's had a massive upgrade from his silver. But, again, it's very standard. He's going to have a little bit of a silver feel. 3-star, 4-star. I'd probably still go towards more of an A, whereas Duran I'd go one more up, especially with that evolution in my opinion. Now obviously being an evolution that gives you 2 pace and then 1 on everything else, I would probably lean towards more of a centre mid, which is where Bellingham would flourish a little bit more. Obviously Robertson's going to be a nice one if you've already got him, because clearly he's on a different level to everybody else, but realistically the rest of them, they're not going to be used in this, really. They're just not. So I'd say Robertson would be into an A+. I'd obviously go with these 3. To be fair, I'm probably being a bit harsh on Job there. We'll put him up 1 more. The rest of them, it's really standard. Like, obviously, you've got the Bruiser Plus on Garcia, but just don't see it being utilised in this. We also have a keeper as well. So this, again, we've got a nice promo going on. We've got the keeper in that. Obviously, he's coming in at 32k. Now, he can't be put into this evolution, which I get, but then I don't, because the only requirement is max 85 and a Trailblazer. Well, he's an 84, so I don't get why he can't go in here, because realistically he fits all the requirements. It's not like it says not to be a goalkeeper, but they clearly just don't want to put a goalkeeper in there as of yet. We hopefully will see one very, very soon, which leaves us with the kind of the middle ground of players now. Now, another big one that's definitely going under the radar personally for me is going to be Llorente. He's got himself the centre mid, right back, right mid or right wing role. Just incredible amounts of talent. Versatility on this card is unbelievable. Obviously, as a right mid, he's got the winger plus plus. I personally liked him as a right back, to be honest. With the amount of centre mids that we've got, I would much rather go right back than centre mid than actually playing him in the right mid. But it's understandable where you want to go with him. I don't think it makes a massive difference. Now, I'm not an attacking wing-back sort of person. I like fullbacks. Maybe I push them up manually, and that's about it. I like to keep my defence nice and intact. So he's not necessarily got the roll plus plus that I like, but he still works very well. And I think even as a right back, even without any extras, he definitely does the job really, really well. Pulisic, another great card. He's a very well-rounded card when it comes to a right wing. He's coming in at 460. We do get a loan version of him if you do win a match with a Trailblazer in your team for the next 6 days, I think it is. But you do need to have a Trailblazer in there, so either complete Job relatively quickly or go and buy one of the 30, 40k cards. Or even if you wanted to do that, go and open a pack with a loan for 40k. I want to say it's the Essentials pack you can go and open. That obviously will give you a loan that I believe will work still as well. And all you got to do then is go and play it in friendlies, win a match in friendlies, and that will do it every single day rather than doing squad battles, because that will get rid of the loan. So it's a nice and easy one nonetheless. But I think in terms of the upgrade, it's pretty standard. It's a nice upgrade, a triple for him. Obviously, he can now go into the cam role. He's got himself the inside forward plus plus, which I can imagine he's probably already going to have. No, he's just got it plus, so even better. So he's got a nice little upgrade there. Still a 5-star, 4-star. I think he's a wonderful right wing. Especially when you look at the Serie A, they're building out this squad really well. And then also alongside that, he is American. So if you've done Swanson, if you've done Morgan, if you've done the new Dunn, maybe you've got Sophia Smith as well. It's going to link really nicely there as also. So that is a great extra bonus that you do get on top. Plus then if you look at the Kvaratskhelia, the Bastoni, Teo's obviously up there. The Serie A team is really coming along nicely. I would say Pulisic would kind of go up there also. Bastoni, on the other hand, easily going into that S. I absolutely love this card. He's, from Team of the Season, he's just absolutely flourished in name on FIFA. And most definitely this year is, again, a very good card for him. Solid defending physical, great pace, decent amount of dribbling passing, anticipate plus, absolutely solid. Gabriel next to him, I think is another great card. Aerial plus, which is going to be a bit broken again, because realistically the only kind of centre back we had that was within reach that was an aerial plus was Virgil van Dijk, and we know fully how broken that is. So if you put basically in your tactics in the corners, you could basically put your central man there. So you put Virgil there. Now imagine having someone like Morientes, because I know as a striker he's got it, Closer, Virgil, and then Gabriel all sitting there with that aerial plus, is going to be nuts. And I think if we go into the aerial, can I search? We've got that. They're the only defenders, obviously only centre-backs, Cordoba, Gabriel, Virgil van Dijk, and Virgil van Dijk. That's going to be an incredible broken card to have, and it is. I can imagine it will be fixed, so within like a couple of weeks it will be gone. They've already fixed quite a lot, so, or say they have. So he most definitely is going to be a broken card nonetheless. Like 590. Once the aerial plus goes, that card plummets, as he's very standard like Bastoni. They will drop in price, but the aerial plus, if you know how to use it, is going to be outstanding to have. We then have Banda, we have Hemp, and we have Stanway. Now, all of them very nice in their own kind of categories. Obviously, Banda is missing out just one rating to get into that evolution, so it is a shame there, but she has got the Quick Step Plus, which is very nice. We have Hemp with the First Touch Plus, Freestyle Weak Foot, and then obviously Stanway is kind of your solid DM / box-to-box going forward. Now, I'd probably go Stanway up one more. It's a shame she didn't get that extra skill move up, but realistically, she's had a nice upgrade anyway. She did get the weak foot up one. Her inform didn't have that either, so I can kind of understand where she's going. She's obviously been given a playstyle plus as well, which is nice. So I'd probably more than likely go Stanway and Hemp into... No, I'd go Hemp one down. No. We'll go there. And then to be fair to her, I'd be very close to put her as an S, to be honest. If you've utilised the Quick Step Plus so well, it just works effortlessly. So if she could potentially go out on wing, she is in the NWSL, so there is the chance that you've got yourselves a kind of someone who is more of like an outside winger. If you could push her into that role, would be nice. It's False 9++. It's a little bit of a kind of a role that I wouldn't play with her. Shooting wise is good. Obviously, if you went for the finisher, 91 striker. I mean, you could argue, couldn't you, really? Quick Step Plus is the bit that's kind of getting me. But to be fair, if Duran's in there as well with the power shot, which we know is fully broken as well, I would kind of put her on that same sort of wavelength. So that's going to be everybody. Let me know if you've managed to get anybody, and I will catch you all for the next one. Peace.